My name is Sylvia. I'm passionate about languages, English in particular. Welcome to my world of English. Welcome everybody. It is time to learn some English, but first of all, it is time to listen to some story. And the name of today's story is confidence. I will guide you through. We will discuss this word, of course, also from the linguistic perspective, but we'll discuss this word through the body of Priyanka Chopra. I don't know if you have ever heard the name, but I have to tell you that she was named among 50 most powerful women in the US. She is an actress, she is a singer, she is a film producer. But as the very name suggests, even if you have never heard about her, she is of Indian origin. So she is this newcomer. She's a foreigner to this American market. But first things first, the name of Priyanka Chopra is the name that you may have heard in association with Miss World contest, Miss World 2000 to be precise. I wonder what your attitude towards beauty pageant is. I will tell you, of course, that she won the title, so she was chosen the most beautiful woman in the world in 2000. Coming back to my question about beauty pageants and your attitude to that, I will tell you that I'm not a huge fan of such contests because to my mind, still, they would rather judge this outside beauty of a person. But at the same time, because she got me interested so much, she caught my eye, she caught my attention very much. I watched this particular contest with her, and I will tell you that she was absolutely outstanding, absolutely amazing, but she was amazing not only or not even so much because of her beauty, but I would say still because of her confidence. And we know how these beauty pageants are organized. I mean, there are these beautiful ladies that are gathered together. They come from different corners of the world and they are allowed to walk on stage and they are supposed to present their beauty, but at the same time they are asked a couple of questions, so they are allowed to speak. And when Priyanka Chopra was asked her question, she answered that with such confidence, such strength and power. And we have to remember that she was a very young girl at that time, so she was, I believe, like 18. That was it. And she repeated that on numerous occasions as I listened to various interviews with her. She said that she won this particular competition through confidence, and I would agree so much because her power, her outstanding beauty was both in her looks but also in her mind, in her brain, since she was speaking, answering questions, and she was addressing the public. I will come back to her origins because I told you that she is of this Indian origin, and unfortunately she is prone to racism, meaning like she does not come from America, she comes from India. She crossed the border, she moved from India to America and she became this huge star there. But I will tell you that I was very much surprised as I read some comments under her post or articles, because people from her own country were not very supportive. I believe because they perceive her as somebody who betrayed the country in some respect, because indeed she crossed the border and she achieved what no other Indian woman achieved before. Right now, she is this true American star, but before she came to America, she was this huge star of Bollywood, and she has made over 50 Bollywood films. She is the name in India as she comes back to her home country. But coming back to her American legacy and who she is in America right now, she's this huge American star. And right now she's starring in a very, very successful series called Quantico. Quantico is a series that tells the story of a group of FBI recruits that are supposed to trace another big terrorist attack, after September 11. She's fantastic there. She gained recognition, she gained her fame, and with every single episode and with her every single appearance on screen, she proves her talent, she proves her beauty, and she proves her confidence. And the question I want to address today is the question of whether you are born a confident person or whether you are raised to become one. Priyanka Chopra, appearing in numerous interviews, repeated that over and over again, that she owes so much to her parents because it was them who instilled confidence in her. And what they told her is, or was actually, as they were bringing her up, they taught her that whatever there was, she was supposed to have an opinion. She could be wrong, she could be right, but the opinion was hers. And that's why when she speaks today, when she is on screen, when she talks to us, she talks to us through this confidence. She comes from this family of educated parents, and this is rather unique. Unique in this Indian tradition, like this old Indian tradition. Right now, India, like the country is changing, and it is becoming more Western in the approach, in the way of thinking of local residents. But when we think about the past, and when we think about the times when Priyanka was born, it was extremely hard to think of a woman who was supposed to stay at home rather than take care of the family. And it was hard in this respect because her parents from the very beginning told her that she was supposed to be somewhat more, something more, somebody more. She wanted to be an engineer, and look where she ended up in this American show business. I don't want to talk about sex here. I mean, whether she's a woman or a man. So I don't want to sound sexist here, because for me, the subject of confidence does not have the sex. So, well, she is a woman, but that could be a man. The only question that we have here is whether you are born this way or whether you get that kind of feeling through your upbringing. I guess I answered that question a little bit just a while ago, talking about her parents. But of course, Priyanka repeated that this was the feeling that she got in her family home, but at the same time, she was not so much confident or not so much strong as a person, and she learned that throughout her career. So as she got the title of the most beautiful woman in the world in 2000, she started to learn how to become this successful, powerful woman. And another interesting information about her is that she or her parents, rather, like her family, had no connection with Bollywood at that time. And the first border that she crossed was this border to Bollywood. Before her, it was only natural for people, for women, for men to star in Bollywood films. Only these people, these women and these men who actually had some connections, that they were well related. And she was not, because she came from this family of doctors, and somehow she managed to become this Bollywood star. When I use the expression somehow, of course, I am diminishing her role, because it is not somehow. We know that it is her beauty, her strength, her confidence, her power, and her great talent. Right now, as I told you, she is this voice in America. She is invited to various TV shows, but she's invited there only because she gained that position, and only because she's recognized as this superstar. When it comes to her private life, but the private life is very much also connected with who she is, because with all the choices that she makes in her private life, she proves that she deserves to be called this very powerful and confident woman. She is this wife of Nick Jonas, and I believe there are some of you who know who Nick Jonas is. He is a solo artist too, but he began as this artist, as the singer, as a member of this group, the Jonas Brothers. So, as the very name suggests, there are these brothers, three brothers, who make this band, this music band. Just a little bit of tidbit. Another brother of Nick Jonas is the one who is married to Sophie Turner, who is or was this great star of Game of Thrones. But that's just a tidbit, just this little bit of extra information. Coming back to Nick Jonas and coming back to Priyanka Chopra, they needed to fight a lot of attacks. They were ridiculed by many people because of their age difference, and there is this age difference between them, around 10 years. And what is, of course, very shocking in this relationship is that she is his senior. It is not the other way around. So she is in her late 30s and Nick Jonas is in his late 20s. Priyanka repeated that she answered a lot of questions about this. Like, this is not an issue for them, never has been. This has been this issue for the public opinion. And just to show you how brutal that was very often for them, is that they made their first public appearance. They showed up together for the first time in the Met Gala in 2017. They were both representing Ralph Lauren. And that's why they were photographed together. It is really hard to say. We don't know it. And I don't think that's really very interesting in here. But we don't know whether they were a couple, they were together at that time, or whether they became this couple after the Met Gala. But at that time, they made this first appearance together. They repeated this, that they decided to go there together because they were both representing Ralph Lauren. But the comments that were there after the public appearances, that was Nick Jonas, was he her driver? Because there are these pictures when she's leaving the car, and all of a sudden there is Nick Jonas who appears there, and people were asking, like, what is he doing there? What was he doing there? Like, was he the driver who just drove her to this very event? Very painful, I believe. Some may say that this is the trouble of the first world, but still, they are people, right, with emotions. They seem to have this real affection for each other. And if somebody ridicules that and does it in public, of course, it is double painful, I would say. Well, they are public people. They must have this thick skin. But still, they seem to be really respecting each other. They seem to have really developed this affection towards each other. And if there is anybody who ridicules that or questions that, it just leaves this very bad feeling. And They once said, because they got married, they have been happily married, and they once said that what got them together, what connected them together, is this respect for family, and we can see this in all the posts that there are posts together that we can see on the internet, on Instagram, and also this great understanding of their lifestyles. And Priyanka Chopra discussed the proposal scene many times, because when Nick proposed to her, she was, of course, immensely shocked and a little bit confused. And she looked at him and said, like, honey, but I don't cook. And what he said is, well, neither do I. Which just shows how they feel about each other. Another great thing that she respects in her husband is that he understands, like both, of course, it works both ways, because she understands him and he understands her, like their lifestyles. I think it is a great value in their life. They are both super busy. They are both very successful. They do not seem to be very envious of their careers. They do different things and meet somewhere in the middle, like somewhere halfway. And this is exactly what we are supposed to do. I'm really fascinated with her personality, with what she does. I wonder if you have ever seen any of her movies, or if you have ever seen any of her interviews. I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to have a look, to listen also to English, because, and here comes another element of surprise in here, and an element that needs to be discussed, because as she is of Indian origin, her English is her second language. Of course, it is not her first language. And her English was also ridiculed on various occasions, like that she has this very strong accent. But hey, she was born in India, right? She's not pretending to be American, although she went to American schools, and that's why she can speak this very fluent English. Although, of course, you can trace another accent in the way she speaks. I promise that, as I discussed, as I started this episode, I promise that we'll also look at the very word of confidence, and we'll discuss this expression in here. Before I present to you some synonyms of the word confidence and some antonyms of the word confidence, I would also like to share this experience that I offer to you, that comes from my classes with students. And with this very particular word, the word of confidence, I get a lot of questions. Confidence, it is the noun, and confident, it is the adjective. And I get this question very often. Students ask me if this is a positive word. I mean, if you say that somebody is confident or self-confident, is it good? Like, what is the meaning of the word? And I'm very surprised every single time I get that question, because, well, it is only a positive expression, right? Like, there is no other meaning. It is good to be confident, and it is good to be self-confident. But at the same time, when we look at the Polish language, for some reason we have this like dual connotation, like people are not sure whether the Polish expression is something to be proud of. Well, certainly it is an expression to be proud of. Certainly it is a positive expression in both in Polish and in English. So coming back to the confidence word and the synonyms, so instead of the word confidence, you can use self-assurance, self-esteem, or self-trust. I particularly like the very last one, like self-trust, because it just shows what it really means. It just shows this true nature of the word. Like if you are confident, it means that you trust yourself. So you are there, you stand there and you say, hey, I'm a very hardworking, valuable person and I trust myself. So if I trust myself, you can trust me too. The antonyms of the word confidence are as follows. So we can talk about uncertainty, we can talk about doubts, disbelief, hesitancy, or anxiety. And all of these words produce this feeling of not knowing what will happen next. So this anxiety produces this feeling of confusion. And this is exactly what is on the other end of the word confidence, right? Because confidence, or a confident person, when they come to stage, they give us this trust, they give us this feelings of certainty, of knowing what to do. We can trust them, we can follow them. And on the other end of that, there is this feeling of anxiety, of disbelief. We are a bit confused. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how to react. So yes, indeed, it is great to be surrounded by confident people. And yes, please remember that confidence is the noun and self-confident is the adjective. They are very, very positive words. I hope you liked it. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. As always, I encourage you to go and just carry out some research in here and just read more about Priyanka Chopra and watch or listen to some of her interviews, also for the linguistic purposes. And I also encourage you to watch any of her movies. I wonder what your opinion there is. I wonder if you like her or if you will like her. That's the question. So if you have any opinion here, please email me. Please tell me what you think. I will be more than happy to receive some of your comments. Please enjoy the study of language. Please enjoy the life of confidence and wait for another episode. Thanks a lot.